Welcome to A Styled Life, the podcast for purpose-led female founders and senior leaders ready to use style as a powerful tool for confidence, impact and influence. I'm your host, Alex Standley, multi-award-winning personal stylist, speaker and sustainable fashion consultant with 2 decades of experience in the fast-paced world of fashion. Join me as we redefine success from the inside out. This podcast isn't just about clothes. It's about personal power, purposeful style, and creating a life that aligns with your values. So whether you're running a business, leading a movement, or stepping into your next chapter, you're in the right place. Each week, we'll dive into the world of personal style, sustainability, female empowerment, and living with intention through real stories, expert insights, and plenty of inspiration. Welcome back to A Styled Life and episode 3 in our series on style as personal development. Today, we're talking about something that comes up for so many women that I work with: how to dress for the rooms that you're stepping into. Maybe that's a boardroom full of senior leaders, maybe it's a stage with a spotlight on you, or maybe it's a networking event where you know that all eyes will be on the way you present yourself before you even say a word. These moments can feel really exciting, but they can also feel confronting. And what I see again and again is that women often hold back. They tone themselves down, they play it safe, because they're worried about standing out too much, being judged, or not being acceptable in that space. But when you dress in a way that fully reflects who you are and the authority that you bring, you don't just fit into those rooms, you transform them. So let's start off by talking about the conflict that women feel. So many women, especially in male-dominated industries, feel like they're already on the back foot. They often think, if I show up in a way that's too feminine or too bold or too different, will it undermine me? And will it stop me from being taken seriously? And here's the nuance with that, because yes, some environments do have dress codes or unspoken expectations, and we definitely can't ignore that. But what I always say is you can still work within those boundaries in a way that feels true to you. So maybe it's adding a colour to a tailored outfit, or choosing accessories that reflect your personality, or finding a cut or fabric that feels comfortable but it's still really polished. The point is, you don't have to erase yourself to meet a dress code. You can meet it in a way that still feels aligned to you and still feels authentic. And what happens if you don't? You tone it down, you stick to the plain black dress or the safe suit. And really what happens is that you disappear into the background instead of owning your presence. And this is what I've seen with my clients. When they stop dressing for approval and they start dressing with intention, everything shifts. They not only feel more confident, they perform more powerfully because they're actually showing up as themselves. They're not dressing up to be somebody else. Because whenever we do that, ultimately, we're going to feel uncomfortable because we're not being true to who we really are. And style is a tool for authority and presence. And I think we can forget that it can either completely diminish us or it can really amplify us. And when you start stepping into bigger rooms or different rooms, you want your wardrobe to do 3 things: reflect your authority, communicate your personality, and support your confidence so that you can focus on what you're there to do. So if we think about it, if you're about to give a keynote, the last thing you need is the distraction of feeling uncomfortable, worrying if your outfit looks right. The beauty of when your style is actually aligned is you walk out there already knowing that you look the part and you can focus fully on delivering your message. And that's the power of using style strategically. So, what are the practical ways to show up powerfully, and how can you start dressing for the rooms that you're stepping into? So I want to share some top tips for you here. The first one being choose impact pieces. So this is going to look really different depending on what your style personality is, like your style archetype. It could be about choosing a bold colour that you love. It could be about wearing a statement piece of jewellery, like a nice chunky gold necklace. Or for somebody who's got quite a classic style personality, it could be about choosing that perfect blazer for you that fits you like a glove. And all of these can help you to stand out for the right reasons. My second tip is think about visibility, not just comfort. So comfort is going to be your number one thing that you're focusing on. But on Zoom or in person, on stage, details like jewelry, glasses, or colour placement can really transform how people connect with you. And it could be as simple as having a few different pairs of glasses in really bright, bold colours that really lift your outfit. It doesn't have to be complicated, but when we get really intentional with these details, that's the power of style as communication. The third tip is preparing your outfits in advance. So don't leave it until the morning of the event. You can have a go at the weekend, for example, creating some go-to outfits that you know will work for you so that you can then step into that stage or that room with ultimate confidence. And as I've said on so many of these episodes, use inspiration from magazines, from Pinterest, from Instagram, and you'll be surprised how many pieces you have in your wardrobe that you can pull together to achieve a look that you've seen that you really love. So the fourth tip is stretching into your future self. Ask yourself, how would the woman that I'm becoming show up in this room? And then dress for her today. Don't wait for that day when you think that you're going to reach that level. Stretch yourself today, and the more you do it, it's like a muscle, building and training a muscle. The more you do it, the more you wear those outfits that stretch you, the more comfortable you'll become in dressing as that person today. And that's where we talk about style as personal development, because it's like having a stretch goal that you keep taking baby steps towards, and you can do the same thing with your style. It might be that you think that woman shows up in a much bolder way, so then you just add a key accessory in a bright red, for example, and then you add the shoes in a bright red as well, and then the next event you actually wear a bright red blazer, and it just builds and builds and builds, and that's how your confidence is built in stepping into these new rooms. And of course, we have to also respect the context, but make it yours. So if there is a formal dress code, think of it as the framework, and then look for the details that allow your personality to shine through, because your authority comes from authenticity and not conformity. So I see so often with my clients that a lot of the scripts that are running in their minds are things that they have come up with themselves. When I actually dig deeper and we look into, like, is there actually a dress code? Often there isn't in the workplace. And it's just these ideals that we've been told, what we've absorbed through societal conditioning, that makes us feel that we need to dress in a certain way, that we need to tone it down, especially, as I mentioned, in male-dominated environments. And actually, yes, the first couple of times that you show up at work or in meetings dressing in a different way, of course you'll get comments, oh, look at you today. You know, we all know those kind of comments that come our way, but we don't have to let them get to us and take them to heart, because it's just those people recognizing that we've made a change and seeing us in a different way. And let's face it, you're not the most important thing in that person's mind. And once you've shown up in that way a couple of times, it becomes the norm. And actually, you'll find that people then start to compliment you on how you're showing up, because they'll see that you're exuding that natural confidence that comes from being yourself. And that is really what I want you to take away from today. So here's what I want you to remember. You don't have to shrink yourself to fit into the rooms that you're stepping into. You belong there. And when your wardrobe reflects your authority, your values, and your personality, you don't just walk into that room, you take up space in it. And one point that we haven't really touched on in this episode, but we will do in future episodes, is that when you match your values with what you're wearing as well, it's another tool for your confidence, because you're wearing something that really genuinely makes you feel good, whether it's that you've researched a sustainable fashion brand, or you've bought something pre-loved, or you've bought something from a charity shop that's supporting really important work that they do. When you match your values in your style, it's another tick box for making you feel confident when you're stepping into those new rooms. So next time you're preparing for a big moment, an event, or a speaking engagement, ask yourself, am I dressing to blend in, or am I dressing to lead? Thank you so much for listening. If this episode resonated, please share it with another woman who's stepping into her next level of visibility. And remember, style isn't just about looking good. It's about owning your space and transforming the way that the world sees you, so that you can create the impact that you came here to make. Thank you for tuning in to A Styled Life. If today's episode resonated, the best way to support the show is to share it with another trailblazer or leave a quick review. And if you're ready to align your style with your next level of impact, head to the show notes to book your free style strategy call. Because when your style aligns with your purpose, the world takes notice.